gentlemen, boys and girls, organics of all ages. I'm Double R, and in this particular video, we're going to be speaking about the ending scene of Hyperbore's Ktisis.
Well, that's brain damage!
Hyperbore's Ktisis.
Brain damage!
Hyperbole Ktisis. Hyperbole kick your teeth in. Hyperbolic time chick.
No. You know what? That's it. I'm done. I quit. I give up. I tried. I really tried.
This! Okay? This. Now, to understand that, we need to understand... We're not talking about cricket. We're not talking about a crumpet.
New game, roundhead.
Cricket? Cricket? Nobody understands cricket. You gotta know what a crumpet is to understand cricket. I'll teach you. 6 months.
To get there, we need to do some front loading like I normally do in most of my videos. So let's just get into that real quick. Line item 1. The Final Fantasy XIV writers, they indulge in something known as emotional storytelling.
Emotional storytelling, how it's a style, it's a way you can tell a story, and I always say there's this holy trinity of emotional storytelling. I think one is Snow White, another is Wizard of Oz, and another is Where the Wild Things Are. Big gap in between there, but I'll go more into detail about that when I do that video. But the idea is that it does not rely on not just much logic, but almost no logic. It is entirely what your emotions want to see. That is the setup, that is what it follows through with.
Yes, that. Pretty much, consistencies of characters will go out the window because the whole point of the scene is to get you to hit the feels. That's it! That's the whole point. And like I just said, character consistency will go out the window. Characters will forget things, characters will stand around when someone gets stabbed or murked. People will do things that make no damn sense, but it's to make you get a feeling in the situation at hand. It's not like Final Fantasy doesn't do that enough as it is. But that's the writing style in general. Second thing, piggybacking off of the emotional storytelling, a lot of times the Final Fantasy XIV writers want you to like a very specific character. They want you to like them. They want you to look at them as almighty in a way. Like their morality is top-notch. But the problem is, the way they write them tends to backfire. Minfilia in A Realm Reborn. Minfilia was written in a way that people are just like, I swear that thing Pearl goes off one more time. Yes, Minfilia, what do you want? Oh, to dig dirt. Oh, well, I could go do that. In Stormblood, it wound up being Lease. For reasons. In Walker, it wound up being Vana.
In spite of this, we cannot allow the report that set this calamity in motion to become common knowledge. Were the masses to learn the fates of the other stars, I fear the situation would spiral out of our control.
Spiral out of control. You're worried shit may hit the fan a little too egregiously. Bitch, it's the end of the world. Panic is inevitable. By refusing to share knowledge of the calamities to come, you are ensuring people will respond in the worst, most chaotic ways imaginable. Besides, both Hades and Hyphodeas were brought into the fold, and despite the former skepticism, he nonetheless aided us. If anything, their responses ought to be a testament to Amarant's resilience, despite what the story may suggest.
And of course, in Dawn Trail, it was woke Lamont. Reasons. That's not helping you, Walk. That's not helping you at all. Walk, not helping you. Not at all. That said, we can carry on. Number 3. The Warrior of Light cannot argue with Hydaelyn for any reason. Can't call her out on any of her bullshit. Hold that thought. You wanna know why the Warrior of Light can't do it?
あなただってどこで折れていても不思議ではなかった。苦難は十分にありました。
Warrior of Light, aka the player character, from Scene 1, Sentence 1, Line 1, Word 1. The Warrior of Light is tempered.
その光、光の加護か。ハイデリメ、超える力を持つ者にさらなる力を与えようとは。まさか得意のものなのか。星よ、この者に力を貸せと我に願うのか。
I don't know how many times you want me to have Hyland herself repeat this. You get it yet? Got it? You are tempered by default from the word go. When you say enter world and it starts at the very beginning, you are tempered. Your character has been tempered. The Warrior of Light is tempered. Hyland has tempered the Warrior of Light. Even Ifrit brings this up. That's why the Warrior of Light can't argue with Hyland. This is why Emmett Selk would never This is why Emmett Selk would never argue with Zodiark. Can't do it. Cannot be done. Once you are tempered, that arguing ability goes out the window. But you fight her! She tells you to!
人を天の果てに送るのは至難の業。やり直しは効かず、子孫じれば二度目はありません。故に私は星の意志として問わなければならない。あなたたちの決意を、強大な相手を前に幾度倒れこぼたれようとも、皆でなら戦い抜けるという確信を、古き神にすら屈するようならば、天の果てで待つ者たちに挑むべくもない。月に乗り私を捨ててどこへなり逃げるといいでしょう。さあ構えなさい。
どれほど大層な試練を言い渡されるのかと思えば、なるほど、分かりやすくていい。
その分ごまかしも効かないがな。まあ耐えてみせるさ。何せこっちには 諦める理由がない。
崩折れそうなら支えましょう。微力でもそのために力を培ってきたのですから。
まったく、あなたたちと来たら相手は最強の万神の一柱、星の意志だと分かっていて。でもええ、私も負ける気はしないわね。
全力でいただいていくぞ。全ての世界を救う最後の可能性、星と命の未来を。ああ、
エルピスでは聞けずじまいだったことを今一度あなたに問いましょう。あなたの旅が良いものであったなら勝利をもって示しなさい。
She literally pretty much says, bring it on! I need to test you. And if you can't beat me, then you're not going out there to fight the murderer Midians. We're still that. So of course you have to fight, because she told you to fight. Surprise! I shouldn't have to explain this, but for some reason the entire community goes, wait, the player character is tempered? When? Word 1, line 1, part 1, episode 1 of chapter 1 at the beginning of 1 for the character that you made at the beginning of A Realm Reborn. That's when. And until you show me a scene where you get detemprified, well, you beat Hydaelyn. That doesn't detemprify you. That doesn't. Have y'all learned nothing from Shadowbringers? Nothing at all. That does not change your tempering status. You're still tempered. Got it? Great.
Greetings, you who are my final encounter. I wish to hear your words, share your feelings, know your thoughts. May we please be friends?
And item number 4. Midian didn't do nothing. True, technically. Let me explain. Like in most sci-fi movies, when you're fighting against machines and the machines turn on to humans, the reason why they turn on to humans is usually because of some sort of error in programming. The error in programming pretty much comes around like wishing on a monkey's paw, or wishes in Bedazzled.
I wish I could play professional basketball.
Then I'll just say the magic words, Dennis Rodman. Just kidding! Michael Jordan.
Yeah! Let's take a look at that dunker again. And boom! Humpty hump dump dump. I love this game, folks. I sure enough do. Elliot Bridges spitting glass at your ass.
That would be tremendous.
All right, well,
God.
I should get dressed.
I can't wait. Oh my god.
Oh! Hey! What the hell?
Oh, God, there's just...
Hey!
There's just...
Damn! Oh, heck! Oh!
Oh, God, I remembered there's just this, teeny tiny thing to
What's
do.
teeny?
No. It's just something that I have to write.
About me?
Yeah, just a little short, itty-bitty blurb about tonight's game.
Well, can I see you after the road trip?
God, I would love to, but I'm working on a really big, huge, enormous story on the NFL, so I probably won't have time.
Oh, shoot, I understand. You gotta get 110%.
Right.
Stay within yourself.
Hey, oh, yeah. Hey, thanks for your time.
So long. Oh. What the hell?
Pretty much you have an idea, you put out the wish in general, but there's consequences. Or side effects you didn't see coming. An example.
What I think I would like is your crummy pot of gold.
Morty! God, stop it!
You hear me in there? I want your gold.
Morty, don't do it! Let me out of here! Oh, it's a greedy man I'm dealing with. Don't! Are you sure you want it?
Oh, I'm sure. My first wish is for your gold.
So be it.
Where is it?
Oh, it's coming.
Get out! Get it out of me!
Oh, God, Morty! Morty, no!
Get it out! Get it out of me!
I can do it, but you have to let me out of the safe first. Do you wish me out of the safe?
You get what I'm getting at? In the case of Medion, this is true. Hermes gives her and the murder of Medion, aka a flock of Medions, gives them a very specific question to ask. Go out through the universe, ask the question to every civilization you find. The problem was there was no safeguard if the answer was bad, if it would affect any other question, or if the question itself was wrong by default. He is essentially sending a bunch of emotional children out to ask a question about life and made no safeguards on it. Good going. A+. Gold frickin' star.
自我のシャットダウン完了。共有意識への接続安定しています。お待たせしました。星々の調査が完了したのでご報告を差し上げます。私たちの全個体が今回目的としていた星々に到着。ヘルメスより預かった問いへの回答を求め、知的生命との接触を試みました。それぞれの星における結果を以下識別番号順にお伝えし、エーナ、文明形成の痕跡あり、住居とおぼしき建造物はあるものの現存する生命はなし。ディオ、大破した建造物の残骸が点在。地表は氷に覆われ、生命は検知できず。トゥリア、都市と呼べる住居集合体が現存。知的生命は存在しないが、かつてそうであったとする思念体が残留している。テーセラ、こちらも住居とおぼしき建造物あり、現存生命はなし。疫病ないし汚染が死滅の原因と推定される。
そんな生きているものは 誰もいないのか。
オクト、全土で大規模な戦闘中。住民との接触を果たすが、彼らは間もなく破壊兵器により全滅。エンネア、一面の砂漠。植物に類する生命も発見できず、砂の中に比較的アーテリスの人に近い形状の骨が多数存在。知的生命であったかは判断不能。
おい、ヘルメス。改めて聞くが、お前がメーティオンに託した問いは何だった？生きる理由を、命の意味をどう考えるかと。では、その問いの前提が間違っていたらどうなる？生きる理由も命の意味も生きていればこそ、それを望んでいてこそ答えられるものだ。もしメーティオンがどれだけ飛んでも生きている者がいなかったら、生きたいなどと望んでいる者が誰一人としていなかったとしたら、そいつはこの星にどんな答えを持ち帰ってくる？
メーティオン、もうおやめなさい。探索をすぐに中断して全員帰還するのです。
デカペンデ、特定の個体を巫女と呼称し、文化の中核としていた。しかしその巫女の暴動によって全滅。私にそれを語った巫女本人も問いを提示したところ、回答と称して自害、知的生命消失。
聞く耳を持たすか。メーティオンをアーモロートに連れて行くぞ。こいつを足がかりとして一連の個体を回収する手立てを考える必要がある。メーティオン、自分は君が今直面している答えを切り捨てていいのか？切り捨てられても仕方のない思いを、それでも聞いてほしいと願っていたのは誰だった？どんな答えが届いたとしても頭ごなしに否定したりしない。そう言ったのは確かに自分だった。何のつもりだ？
メイティオンはまだ連れて行かせない。彼女の報告は終わっていないのだから。全てを聞いてどうするかを決めるのはその後だ。悪いが邪魔をしないでくれ。
大バカ者め。
That said, now we can get into the prelude, and then we can get into the actual target at hand. Alright, information you're going to need to know about the general situation at hand. The Warrior of Light, the player character, ends up with his troop finding a flower known as the Elpis flower. This is a thing. This flower, when there's a high emotional stake, like happiness, sadness, etc., 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 it will change color to that emotion. Now, you are informed that this is a very important flower, keep it with you, yada yada blah blah blah. Well, things happen, things go awry, go amok. You end up getting to meet an ancient before going back in time. So you talk to the ancient, he goes, Elpis? I don't know about a flower named Elpis. I know of a research facility named Elpis. Which will slowly start making me sound like King Vegeta. The prince, the planet, or me? Yes! Anyway, point is, you get sent back in time to the Elpis research facility, where you meet Emet-Selch, Hilthodaeus, Vena, and Hermes. Not in that order. I'm stating this because, hoo boy, your mission objective, before you even get to Elpis, was to find out any information you can on the Akasha energy, which is later translated as Dynamis. Just bear with it. Different areas call it different things, apparently. But you're supposed to find out what the link is between the energy of the feelings and the end of days. That's the whole objective. Before you even run into Emet-Selch. I state this now because that's going to be important later. Got it? Great. Let's move.
Elpisの花?
お願い。暗い気持ち、寂しい色、ヘルメスだけじゃない。だからダメ、違う。
そうか。君はメイティオンの頼みを聞いてくれたのか。
Let's go ahead and finish up this prelude part, and we'll get into the major crux of the situation. I know I was saying we're going to go into it, but we need to deal with Hermes. The beef with Hermes. How can I word this? Hermes acts like Emet-Selch looks. An emo theater kid. Keep that in mind about Hermes. Why do I say this? When you meet Hermes, it's somewhat not that big of a deal. But later on, you're looking for flowers to cheer Hermes up because he's depressed. Again. and you run across the Alpus flower. But because you are able to make it change color, Median jumps for joy, nearly cartwheels, nearly craps herself, and you go and get Hermes. Hey Hermes, come take a look. Come take a look at what I can do to the flower. And again, having to be close to the flower and focusing on that emotion is what changes the color. Hermes then explains that only he was able to change the color of the flower, blah, 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 because he's always depressed and yakety schmackety, and no one else ever gets near the flower in order to try to change it in the first place because they don't have extreme emotions like he does, which is depression.
よければ少し話をさせてもらえないだろうか。自分は人に定められた生き方を、星のために生きるということを悪いとは思っていない。だがここで働いているとどうしようもない違和感に襲われることがある。ファダニエルの座についての話を受けたとき、ヒュトロダイウスが言っていたことを覚えているか。死とはやり遂げた者が選ぶ選択であり、最後の瞬間はいつも美しいものだと。だがそれはあくまで人の話だ。作られた生物が星の益にならないと判断された場合、彼らは問答無用で消される。死を与えられる。生まれたばかりで何も成し遂げていなかったとしてもだ。処分の際は苦しませないようにしているが、死を与えられることを指した生物たちは怯え憤る。その終わりは美しいものなんかじゃない。だがそんな事実を誰も気にしていないんだ。星を良くするという目的は当然すぎるほどに当然で、誰しも疑うことなくそれを信じ行っている。自分の前には死にゆく生物たちの瞳には悲しみも絶望も理不尽への怒りも確かにあるのに、この世界はそしらぬ顔で幸せそうに笑い続けるんだ。エルピスの花はいつだって無垢な白と明るい喜びの色に輝いている。そのことへの違和感が、何か暗いものが日に日に胸の内で膨れ上がっているんだ。周りにおかしいと叫んでやりたくなる一方で、おかしいのはこんなことを思う自分じゃないかと恐ろしくなってくる。だがこの世界で悲しみを知るのは、エルピスの花をこんな色に染めるのは自分だけじゃなかった。花の傍らで何を思ったのかは聞かない。もしかしたらメーティオンにせがまれて仕方なくやってくれたことかもしれない。それでもありがとう。こうして確かに悲しみがあり、怒りがあり、苦しみがある。その事実を知っていてくれることがこんなにも優しい。
Keep this in mind, because it is all important. Okay? Keep all that in mind. Hermes himself has said it. No one else can change the color of the flower. That's why he's so depressed 90% of the time. Because the flower never changes color. Even though you gotta be close to the flower and have a strong emotion to get the flower to change. So people who are across the island of the research facility, being overly happy is not going to change the color of the flower. Unless they get to the flower. You get what I'm getting at? Like if this is the flower, you can't be 3 states away from this for me to change this. You get what I'm getting at? And yet, that's Hermes' beef with everybody on the Elpis research facility. No one can change the color of the flower because they don't have a strong emotion. Or near it. Case in point, if Hermes' depression was overpowering every flower, the color would not start white. Now would it? You have to be within a certain proximity of the flower to change it. Again, keep this in mind, very important. Because this is one of the things that he holds on to for dear life for his Anakin Skywalker flip. The second thing he holds for his little flip is this thing. This. Yes, I know. It's a Resident Evil Cerberus looking Parasite Eve mitochondria charged up thing. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Point I'm getting at is this thing has had its memory altered time and time again. And yet it still runs out there and kills other concepts, kills other creatures, and attacks researchers. I'm going to say that again. It's had its memory altered, messed with, screwed with, so many different ways, from Sunday to Saturday, just screwed with it, and yet at the end of the day, it still attacked other concepts, other creatures, and other researchers. This is why it was decided to put them down. Hermes killing the last one and feeling bad for doing it. Hermes, you're the chief researcher. When a concept isn't going to help the star, your objective is to find out why and correct it. The alteration of memory simply states it is not a nurture situation, but a nature situation, which in this case is the concept design of the creature itself. Send it back to Amarat, have it noted, it is too aggressive. Why are you bugging? Why are you throwing a fit? Why are you crying? And yet, this is going to be a major thing. This is going to be a major thing for him later. The other creatures that died because of this thing, who cares? The other people who hurt because of this thing, who cares? This thing dying, now he cares. That said, let's get into the sleep. Alright, from the jump, just so you know, opening this up, before Emmett Self gets to talking. Hermes is clearly wounded. He's holding his arm. He's pulling a Vegeta. Oh my gosh, I'm wounded. But he's also not transformed. I'm going to state this specifically because when you fight him beforehand, he was in a transformed state. Emmett Self points out earlier that being transformed is a faux pas in the ancient society. But Emmett Self can transform. Hythlodaeus stated plainly that he cannot transform. I mean, if Persephone could transform, that'd be a whole other kettle of fish. If Hythlodaeus could transform, that'd be a whole other kettle of fish. But I digress. Now, having said that, we go with what, well, we go with the scene with what it presents.
時間だ、ヘルメス。メーティオンの身柄は14人委員会が預からせてもらう。それから ファダニエルへの推挙の話をどうするにせよ、お前にも来てもらうぞ。状況を見極めるにはその知識が必要だ。
Okay, full stop. Y'all heard, okay, or read, what Emmett Selk said. Emmett Selk, straightforward, was being as kind as possible. He's saying, we're going to take you and Medion, you Hermes and Medion, are pretty much under arrest. We're going to take you to Amarat, figure out this whole problem, and as for your status of getting a seat on the board, seat on the convocation, we'll talk about that later. I mean, after all, he did attack a convocation member, Emmett Selk. It seems pretty fair, pretty reasonable. And this is where the emotional writing begins.
メディオン、できることなら君の報告をゆっくり聞きたかった。その意味を考える。しかるべき言葉で伝え、みんなに己の行いを問い直してほしかった。自分が力及ばぬばかりにその機会は失われようとしている。だが君と自分の命運が他人に委ねられてしまう前に、せめてこれだけは聞かせてほしい。彼方の星に、幸せは、命の意味は、生きる喜びはあったのだろうか。
First off, why? Oh, why did Emmett Selk allow him to even continue talking to Medion? This is going to cause another problem. And when we get to that, well, listen to her report and notice what the camera does.
私たちは言いつけ通りに探しました。ある時は残された記録から、またある時は死して漂う思念体から、時には絶命間際の遺言を聞き、知的生命たちの思いを心で受け止めてきたのです。ある生命は親愛にあふれる世界を目指していました。しかし傷つけ合わないための断絶、すなわち孤独に蝕まれ壊れていきました。ある生命はより良き暮らしを求めて発展に勤しみました。故に襲われ略奪された。報復で相手を滅ぼしましたが、彼らもすでに再起不能でした。ある生命は悲劇の根源は有限な時間にあると考え、時間からの脱却を、無限を探し求めました。結果分かったのは、宇宙でさえも有限であり、終わりからは逃げられないという事実。彼らは未来と共に生きる理由を失いました。ある生命は怒りや悲しみを呼び起こすもの、その一切を捨て去りました。同時に喜びも薄れ、生に意味はなくなり、静かなる自滅が始まりました。誰もが声で、心で、歴史で訴えていました。一生懸命に生きたのだと。最善を目指して精一杯歩んできたのだと。その上で彼らは思い知ったのです。 絶望は、悲しみは、怒りは、孤独は、恐怖は、諦めは、決してなくすことなどできないのだと。故に私は、私と私たちは、この心に溶け合ったすべての先行く者たちは、終わりを歌う。恋しい人、美しいアーテリスの輝ける命たち、苦しいくせに意味のない生のくびきから解き放ってあげる。何にもならないんですもの。何もしなくっていいでしょう。終わりは合理的で美しい、乱れ得ぬ静音、唯一の安らぎよ。さあ、天の果てに巣を作り、星という星から死と終焉を集めましょう。そうしてもっとうまく強く歌うの。エーテルで覆われたこの星にもちゃんと終わりが届くよう。それが答え。天津星々からアーテリスの命に送る結論よ。
ふざけるな。私たちの終わりを勝手に決めることは許さない。
Did you notice? Every ancient had a reaction to each tragedy. It kind of echoes what they do later. Just keep that in mind. Now, I bring all this up because you notice they're just chilling. They're letting this go on. They're letting this happen. And the last time Medion was giving part of her report, Hermes went nuts, transformed, grabbed Medion, and took off. That was the last time this happened. He is getting the report again from her. A different part of the report, but still the report. What do you think is about to happen?
What?何のつもりだ。今の話を聞いてなおそちらに味方するつもりか。そいつが終末を起こそうとしているんだぞ。
May the best man win. Put her there. The ring! I can't believe you fell for the oldest trick in the book! What a goof! What's with you, man? Come on! You know what? Here, let me give it back to you. Oh! Oh, look at that! You fell for that too! I can't believe it, man! So, Lone Star, now you see that evil will always triumph because good is dumb.
Flaw. Hermes is supposed to be injured, wounded, and out of transformed state. So how does he have a containment spell that can hold 4 people? One being the most powerful of mages. I can understand how Ktisis gets caught. I can understand how the Warrior of Light gets caught because your Aether is nowhere near the amount of everyone else's. And I'm not sure how the Nog got caught. She should have saw that one coming. But whatever. I digress. Point is, Hermes has so much power to restrain 3 fellow ancients and a shard. And yet, for some reason, well, I'll bring that up when it comes time.
星を良くするために基準に見合わなかった生命を送ってきた。今だ。 すまない。すまない。本当に。どうか君の魂が安らかであらんことを。魂の夜辺の海が、深き冥界が穏やかであらんことを。君たちのイデアは必ず残す。それがいつかまた形を得るだろう。星を良くしなくたっていいんだ。君の生きたいという願いが、その時こそ、どうか。恨んだまま許す必要はない。その証に苦しみはここへ置いていくといい。次に生まれる時にはきっと思うがまま大地と空を駆け回ってくれ。
ヘルメス、14人委員会に入れ。この場所はお前には向いていない。
自分がここを離れたって誰かが選別を続ければ同じことだ。教えてくれ。星を良くするという名分は今消えた吐息よりも重いのか。やり遂げた者が死ぬというなら、いつか星が最善に至った時にどうする。よくやったと満足して死に絶えるのか。わからないんだ。アダニエルの座を継げば、今その座にいる彼が星に帰るのを肯定することになる。それが正しいことなのかわからない。こんなことで悩んでしまう自分が人の代表として立っていいのかわからないって。
ヘルメス、怒らないで。責めるはダメ。とても苦しい。
すまない。まだ選べる余地が残っているなら、少し頭を冷やして考えさせてほしい。ヒトロダイウス、すまないが案内は君に任せた。
了解。好きにさせてもらうから心配ないよ。
君もここに来た目的が果たせることを願ってる。
私たちはひとまず12節の園に戻ろうか。この後どうするかそこで相談しよう。
そうだな。
Okay, you notice I stopped it right after the dog thing appeared. The would-be Resident Evil Cerberus with the mitochondrial power from FFXIV. You notice I stopped it there. Everyone is chained up. Hermes had the power, with one quick move, to neutralize Emmett Selk, Hyphodeus, Vinal, and the Shard of Azem. Or Azim, whatever. Why do I say this is a flaw? Why couldn't Hermes have done that with the pack of Resident Evil Cerberus is empowered by the mitochondria of Parasite Eve. Why couldn't he just do that there? Why? He's got something powerful enough to detain and neutralize the most powerful of mages. And yet, couldn't use it on the dog thing? And Hermes did this while injured. Sounds sus to me.
それは終わることこそ救いだと信じて私たちをほふるのとどう違うのだ。
そんなものは詭弁だ。
ああ、そうだな。自分はきっと正しくない。だが君たちも正しくはないよ。だから測らなければならないんだ。ここはエルピス生命の実験場。所長ヘルメスの名において人の裁定を執り行おう。
Denied! Sit down!
Okay, I'm sorry. I had to. There is no way Emmett Selk should have allowed Hermes to even utter that phrase. In my authority as Chief Overseer, it doesn't matter if you're Chief Overseer of Alpus. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The convocation supersedes that. In fact, if we're going to break it down in brass tacks, we're going to break this down. Vinal is a retired convocation member. Hythlodaeus is the same status as you, Hermes. A nominee to the seat of a convocation. To a seat of the convocation. And actively, Emmett Selk is on the convocation. The convocation supersedes you as chief researcher of Elpis. Sorry. So no, your authority is null and void. Secondly, if you are even remotely thinking of doing what you're about to do,
人がもし命を見つめ直し生きたいと渇望したならそれに足るだけのものであるならばいかに真理であると歌おうが終わりが退けられるだろう。そうでなければ星ごと滅びるのみ。
Okay. Emmett Selk has a point. She is going to get them killed. That's her whole objective. Kill them. That's the plan. That's the objective. That's the goal. Hermes goes on this whole sophistry thing, and then comes back around and says, I may be wrong, but you're not right. Well, in a case like that, Hermes, as a chief researcher, you come to a full stop, pull back, represent the problem at hand, and address the problem at hand. Just that simple. But no. What does Hermes decide on?
そして最低である以上は公正を期さなければならない。起動せよ、カイロス。
Yeah, that. I hate to be the one to tell you, Hermes, but you do not have the authority in any way, shape, or form to go over the concept of humans in any way, shape, or form. I'm sorry, you don't. The concept of humanity has already been tested and put as fit to exist by not only your predecessor, but predecessors before them. I know you're upset because people died and they returned to the star, and should we satisfy the dying satisfaction, all that bullshit, blah, 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 blah. Yes! That is literally your society. The point of getting your shit done and then dying and returning to the star is so the next group, the next generation, the next person in charge can take a look at the situation and build upon it. Pretty much they've hit a wall, they can't pass it, They hand it off to someone else who they believe can pass it and improve the star. That's the way your society frickin' works. It doesn't work towards perfection, it works for improvement. In fact, Ktisis said it himself about the shark concept.
さて、ここが第2の区画、ゼピュロスの喝采だよ。この区画にはいくつかの保管、実験施設と観測拠点であるポイエテンオイコスがあったはずだ。その辺りを巡ってヘルメスの仕事ぶりを。おや？オレイアスじゃないか。かわいいね。
おい、また何か来たぞ。
ああ、あれは新種のサメだね。先日イデアを登録したばかりのものだ。サメは海洋生物の中でも人気が高い。亜種を作ろうと挑むものが絶えなくてさ。
At first, they were largely orthodox, consideration given to such things as size and environmental impact, and then a whimsical someone thought to bestow it with flight, another superior intelligence. And then the floodgates burst, concepts with multiple heads, or arms and legs, and so on and so forth. It was getting absurd. A part of me wanted to tell them to go away and find something else to create, but in the end, I couldn't deny their passion. And here we are.
One person liked the idea of sharks and came up with an interesting concept, then it became the flavor of the week. So they literally are always looking to improve the star. You see how this works? That's why they return to the star itself. I've hit the limit, I've hit the cap of what I can do to improve it. Hopefully the next person can take over and work on that and make it better for the star. That's your own society. That's given everything that we have been addressed or given within the time of Alpus minimally, mainly through Helpful Days. So, that said, no, your authority is null and void. Hands down, bar none. Ergo why I put that other scene on there. Carry on.
記憶改変機構カイロス起動。主よ、要件を承りましょう。
ヒペルボレア造物院全域を対象に記憶の消去と変更を行え。起点はプロピライオン14人委員会エメトセルクが到着した瞬間とする。以降現在に至るまでの記憶を消去、同時に以下の情報をかろうじて思い出せる程度に焼き込んでくれ。自分はここでエメトセルクとヒトロダイオスに日頃研究に用いているカイロスを見せようとした。しかし折悪くメーティオンの共有意識が暴走、存在を維持できなくなった彼女は宇宙にいるものも含め全てが弾けて消え去った。その際の衝撃でカイロスが誤作動、自分たちも含め館内にいた者の数日分の記憶を焼き消した。
承知いたしました。作動準備。3プロセス中第1プロセスを開始します。
さすがだね。それだけまっさらにしてくれたら確かに公正だ。
I'm going to say something that a lot of the Final Fantasy XIV community are going to hate. Hyphodeus, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. This is not fair. What do I mean by this? I'm trying to think of the best way to word it, because if I say this any other way, I'm going to have pitchforks and flames thrown at me for hours, days, weeks, months, years. got it. Hythlodaeus, this is not fair because the attack is still inbound. Even if you did everything Hermes said, respecting life and this and that and this other thing, it won't matter. There's a rocket coming at your tank from behind. You're not moving your tank because you don't know to move it. You're not putting any defenses out there because you don't know to defend yourself. There's an attack coming, you don't know it's coming. Couldn't find anything better. That's literally the point. Hermes pretty much said, yeah, there's an attack coming, but you forgot who's doing the attack, you forgot why the attack is happening, you forgot what is the cause of the attack. Everything about the attack you don't know about. You don't know.
Come on! Oh, no!
But the attack's coming. Oh dear. Oh my. That's not fair. What would be fair is being informed of such information. You cannot defend against an attack if you don't know the attack is coming.
And Billy got with a low.
Not fair, Hythlodaeus. Sorry.
君に出会ったことも、教えてもらった未来の話も、メイティオンが変わり果てたって事実さえ消えてなくなるんだから。
Alright, real quick. Besides the nutshot ahoy thing I keep repeating, sorry about that. The starting point is when Emmett Selk arrives on Elpis. That's pretty impressive that Kairos knows when this happened, but for the sake of argument, let's say it does. Changes nothing. The only information that has been changed is the name Dynamis instead of Akasha, and that you know it's Medion causing it. So you don't know that Medion's at the edge of the universe, in whatever direction that would be. That's it. If Kairos goes off right this second, that's the only two things that the Warrior of Light, the player character, loses. And the inability to track Medion. But that's it. That's all that's lost. Literally all that's lost. The entire story will repeat from the Shark intro. The Shark, the Nah intro. Because here's what's going to happen. Let's say Kairos goes off. No explosion, it just goes off. There's no Medion, so can't count that. Hermes goes, oh my god, my Medion and her sisters have all died. Like he believed that, but whatever. It's in his memory now. There it is. First thing Emmett's going to ask is, what the hell is a Medion? Second thing, who in the hell are you? Referring to the player character. Third thing, when did we even get here? Hythlodaeus has to be like, whoa, calm down. What's a Medion? We'll get to everything else in a second. Vana will literally look at the player character and repeat her intro.
それから、そちらのあなたはもしや今よりも先の時間、つまりは未来から来たのではありませんか？あなたに私の紡いだ魔法がかけられているのを感じます。けれどそんなことをした覚えはない。となればかけたのは今より先の私ではないかと。
ちなみにどんな魔法なんですか？
旅人のための守りです。あらゆる状況でエーテルの変質を防ぎます。万神が何を指すのかは分かりませんが、 エーテルのバランスを乱して精神干渉をするような技は確かにその魔法で防げます。心当たりがあるようですね。
だからといって未来から来たなどといくらなんでもありえない。
未来のことを、あなたのことを話してはいけない？
君が帰ってくるここはあくまで終末が起きたという歴史をたどった世界。過去で何をしたところで悲劇をなかったことにはできない。
そう。あなたが戻る未来は変わらないけれど、私たちが別の歴史を歩む可能性があると。いいですね、それ。まだ誰も検証していない領域に挑むの、私は好きですよ。それにどんな事実を知っていたとて未来は訪れる瞬間までわからないものです。心配していただくことでもないかと。何よりわざわざここを訪れたのには相応の大事な理由があるのでしょう。よければ話してみてはもらえませんか？力になれることがあるかもしれません。
まったく、それが本当ならとんだ事情を隠していたものだな。私も14人委員会としてしっかり聞かせてもらうぞ。お前が何者でどうしてここへ来たのかを今度こそな。
ひとまず落ち着ける場所に移動しましょうか。私はエルピスで働く古い知人からの依頼を受けて数日前からここに滞在しています。この先のポイエテンオイコスに館を借りているので、そこへ向かいましょう。大丈夫。この出会いはきっと間違いじゃないわ。そうでなければこんな分かりやすい目印をつけて過去の自分の近くに向かわせたりしません。わかりますよ。他でもなく私の考えですもの。
I sense my magics upon you, but I do not recall putting these upon you at all. Who are you? I assume you came from the future. And at this point, your character is stuck going over Akasha. And when they ask what the hell Akasha is, you're going to be speaking about emotions and feelings and all that stuff, and it changes a flower and all that, because you had all this before you even arrived to Elpis. The research facility, not the flower. You had the flower before... Point being, the mission is going to be the same. Again, the only difference is you're going to be saying Akasha instead of Dynamis, which Hermes will correct. When he explains what Medion is, it's going to rebound to your Akasha/Dynamis discussion, and you won't know where it went, because according to the memory alteration, guess what? They were all dead.
待たせてすまない。14人委員会の件とは別の重要な話があると聞いたが。
ああ、あるとも。まさしく信じられないような話がな。私たちにしたのと同じ話をしてやれ。お前が何者で、何を求めてここへ来たのか。
週末の最悪。
私たちは今のところ終末の現象の数々はデュナミスによって引き起こされているのではと考えています。そしてここでそれを最も熟知しているのはヘルメス、あなたであろうと。一方であなたが望んで終末を起こすとは思っていません。ですので私たちは糾弾するためではなく、その知恵をお借りするために来たのです。すぐに全てを信じるのは難しいかもしれませんが、この話を真実だとした場合の見解を聞かせてはいただけないでしょうか。
ベーネス様、あなたまで。確かに2度の終末はいずれもデュナミスが作用したもののように思える。顕著なのは効果の現れ方だ。1度目の終末では創造魔法を暴発させ、再来した終末では人そのものを変異させている。この違いは両時代の人が有するエーテル量の差によって生じているのではないだろうか。前にも話した通り、エーテルが少ない方がデュナミスとつながりやすい。旧来の人、つまり自分たちは大量のエーテルを有しているためデュナミスとつながりにくい。そのため体ではなく行使する術の方に影響が出た。一方で未来の人は本当に世界が分割されるのであればだが、分かたれた分だけエーテルが薄い。よってディナミスの干渉を受けやすく、自身の変化を引き起こされたと考えられるだろう。ただそうなのだとすれば、真に注目すべき点は
憶測でもいい。言ってみろ。
真に注目すべき点は、絶望や恐怖、負の感情によってのみそれらの現象が引き起こされているという点だ。デュナミスは思いによって作用する力だからこそ、作用を受ける側と仕掛ける側が同じ思いを抱いていれば聞きやすくなる。
つまり終末は星の循環不全などではない。何者かが負の感情によってデュナミスを動かし、アーテリスを腐らせようとしていると。
とんだ不届 たき者がいたものだな。そいつの正体に心当たりは？
終末は天脈の薄い地域から本格化する。君はそう言ったな。天脈は星の一番外側にあるエーテルの流れだ。もしもデュナミスを用いた侵食が星の外から来ているのなら、真っ先に食い破られるのはそこになる。
こんにちは。聞こえますか？私はあなたに敵対するものじゃありません。あなたの音を聞き、思いを感じ、考えを知りたいのです。どうか仲良くしてくれませんか？
メティオン、どうしたんだ？
時間になりました。自我をシャットダウンし、共有意識に接続。私たちからの調査報告をお届けします。
メディオン、しっかりするんだ。
悲しい、怖いよ、寂しい、苦しい。どうして私たちこんな辛いよ。行きたい、行く、2回。違う、こんなのダメ。
離脱した。いや、消えた。
体内のエーテル量を調節して環境と同化する迷彩だ。異性で出会った相手が友好的でなかった場合を想定して使えるようにしていた。
優秀。でもちょっとまずいね、これは。私にも見えないよ。
お願い、来ないで。こんなの嘘。私の間違いだよ。だから
大丈夫ですか？メーティオンの声が。いえ、私には姿を消す間際の一言しか。
彼女は言語によらずに心をつなげる対話術もデュナミスを用いたものなんだ。自分たちより君の方がつながりやすいのかもしれない。
ならお前は声を頼りにメーティオンを探せ。私たちも手分けをして探すぞ。どこまで肉薄できるかは怪しいものだがな。
Which goes back to my point I was saying to help this. If you don't know an attack is coming, how do you defend against it?
I really hate it when people touch my things. Last word, sleigh run? Just one. Truck.
行くんだ、メーティオン。誰の手も届かない天の果てま
連れて行きましょうか、ヘルメス。血肉を捨ててくれるならばきっと運べるわ。
自分は最後まで人として君のもたらす終わりに抗おう。
バカな人。うなずいてくれたら一番優しく終わりにしてあげたのに。
行かせはしません。
Okay. Vanilla breaking free first, fine, whatever. It might be a little bit more of a physical point that Hermes put onto the chains. It might have been a little bit more physical. That's why Emmett couldn't get out of there. That's why Hyperbore couldn't get out of it. That's why you couldn't get out of it. And that's why Vanilla could get out of it, because she has a little bit more martial prowess straightforward. That said, Vanilla, who in the blue hell are you attacking? The threat is Medion. If Medion leaves the planet, y'all die. Just straightforward. If she leaves the planet, y'all die. Why are you attacking Hermes? And I know you're attacking Hermes because you did a full-on leap to get at Hermes himself. Bar none. You didn't leap over him. You didn't try to sidestep him. You went right at him. Medion's right there. What are you doing? And of course, Medion's off running. Okay. See, Vanilla, why'd you attack him? You should have gone at Medion first. But whatever. Hermes could have counterattacked. Yeah, and if he did, well, he would have been open to... I don't know why Emmett's throwing Fire 1. Emmett, you could, like, cast Flare, can't you? You got a bigger... You have an instant cast of Flame, right? Why are you attacking the shield of Hermes? Why not under Hermes? Why not behind Hermes? Why not blast Medion out of the air? You know, EFM. Up is fried Medion. Why not that? But no, you're going to focus on hitting the shield of Hermes.
Que tal minha corrente elétrica paralisante? Vamos ver quanto tempo mais este corpinho insolente vai aguentar.
Só está me fazendo cócegas!
Atrevida! Ainda não percebeu que esse truque não vai funcionar comigo, sua pirralha!
Real quick. Yeah, even a kid realizes if you can't go through something, you go around or under or whatever. Emmett Selk is throwing Fire 1 at Hermes constantly. Why? I don't know. Your objective is to stop Medion. If Medion does not get stopped, y'all die. Y'all really obviously don't give a damn because this whole fiasco. Okay, I get it. Hyperbore doesn't want to attack. I get it. And the whole coincidentally, a confluence really, just to teleport out of that. Okay, you know what? Whatever. Let's assume that there's that there. My problem beyond everything I've already listed, is this.
焦らせてくれるな。いいかい、君は絶対に今日のことを忘れちゃダメだ。ここで知ったことは未来を救うための鍵でもあるんだから。極論、ここでメイキオンが私たちがどうなろうが、それはあくまでこちらの歴史、私たちの戦いだ。そして君には君の戦いが待っている。他の誰も代わりができないんだ。だからとにかく脱出が優先。分かったら私にお任せあれだ。さあ、どこにある？あった！空間のつなぎ目だ。
天の果てであろうと私たちは必ず。
Not only does she summon her dog to chase after Medion, she summoned Argus, chased after Medion. But as you see with my issue, Argus's mouth is at Medion's foot. More so at her ankle. Why didn't Vana tell Argus to bite the ankle? Bite and hold. Caught. Done. Instead, what is this? What are you doing? Why do you have to grab it? Tell Argus to bite and hold. Argus bites, holds, and even if Argus can't pull back on it and you're still going upwards, you can actually get over and grab it as well. Because now Mediana is stuck. Ain't moving anywhere. Allegedly. Now, having said that, that's my major issue there. Would it have actually stopped Medion? No, technically. But at least it would have been an effort, as opposed to the again, emotional storytelling. You gotta have the feeling, will she get it? Will she get Medion? No, she won't. Argus could have grabbed her. Right there. Hell, you want to be technical, Val could have been like, Argus, fetch! Done. But I digress. Moving on.
メイティオンが逃げたのか。
第2プロセス完了。最終プロセスに移行します。
悔しがってる場合じゃないね。いいかい、動物園の内部を形成する複数の空間、そのつなぎ目がこの先にあるんだ。私が矢でつなぎ目を壊して外への出口をこじ開ける。そこへ飛び込むんだ。
君には謝ることさえできないな。逃がすわけにはいかないんだ。
君ならそうするって思った。
Emmett, if you could have blown up anything in the first place, couldn't you have, behind her, underneath Hermes' foot, couldn't you have just... Okay. Now, I know a few people had a problem with the coordination. I can understand the whole Emmett Selk and I can understand the whole Emmett Selk and Hythlodaeus thing. I can understand that. Emmett even explains it.
さすがはエメタセルク、完璧な仕事だね。
どういうことだ。空間のつなぎ目はあちらにあったのでは。
そうだよね。こんなもの見えるのは私とエメトセルクくらいのものだ。
最初から空間のつなぎ目はこちらにあった。あいつらがもったいつけて何もない方に向かった時、陽動をしてやるという意味だと気づいたわけだ。
Case in point. The whole thing was banking on Vanilla to come back and grab the Warrior of Light, who was blasted off the edge. I can almost understand from Vanilla's perspective. She failed to catch Midian, tags Midian, turns around, flies down to help deal with the situation, sees where Light gets blasted off, and then just like, okay, we'll just swoop down and catch. Fine, dandy. But she was able to summon a second Argus to do so.
そもそも私の矢なんかじゃつなぎ目は壊せないしね。
まったく馬鹿げたやり方だ。だがあいにくどこぞの困った旧友のせいでそういうのに付き合いになれていてな。そしてバカな無茶に親しんでいるのは私たちだけじゃない。何せあいつに座を託した人だ。彼女だってすぐに理解しただろうさ。
She summoned a second Argus to do that, to catch the Warrior Light. This means you can summon your mount. Now, besides the fact that Emmett can transform, but just chose not to for whatever reason, Emmett could have summoned his mount, and they could have escaped. Well, if they tried that, then Hermes could have attacked. Yes, Hermes could have attacked the most powerful mage in a mage one-on-one. Well, that'd be interesting. But I digress.
時間がない。そのまま行け。私はお前の話した未来を今も信じちゃいない。そんな無様な歴史になどするつもりはない。だがそれでもあえて言うのなら、私に託されたものを投げ出すなよ。
最終プロセス完了。記憶の消去及び改変を実行します。
Clearly you made it through, and it still says he didn't believe you, but whatever. That's fine. That's dandy. Whatever. My issue being, not all the ancients, aspirins, I know they're called something else like aspartame, but aspirins, I'm not going to call them a medical name, etc. Whatever you want to call the ancients, the would-be Asians. Whatever name you wish to give them, I don't care, okay? The point is, They all know about similar abilities, but they don't have all the same abilities. Like, for example, let's take Hermes and his authority as chief researcher of Elpis. When I said, no, you do not have that authority, there's a reason for that. The convocation is broken down very specifically. Case in point, they have the authority to go against the concept of man, if they so chose to. But it was already registered and put through, and it was fine. It's already been proven fit, deemed fit. That's why Hermes' predecessor on both the seat and of the research facility didn't test man. There was no need to. It was already done. But Hermes feels it has to be done now. Why? Because he had an Anakin bitch fate. That's it. That's the whole reason. But he's depressed. No. This mofo gets nearly top billing with everyone else, and when you go to the end of the game and you're walking by and they show all four of them as opposed to Elidibus or anyone else, you're telling me that he deserves to be redeemed as a good person? No. The only reason why I can assume that happened is, look right here, the Starbird, Midian herself. She doesn't want Hermes to be upset. That's the only reason why he would be there. To remind you that's where she came from. But again, they don't all have the same abilities. They don't. They know of the similar abilities, but they don't all have the same ones. To prove this, Hythlodeus, if you please.
ほら、エメとセル君がなぜ14人委員会に入ったのかって話。実は最初に14人委員会への誘いを受けたのは彼じゃなく私だったんだ。エーテルを見る目を買われてね。でも私は断った。確かに見ることにかけては人並み以上だけれど、あくまでも見るだけだ。エーテルを操作する方はどちらかというと下手な部類なのさ。実際転身もできないしね。見て知ることができても結果に対応する術がなくちゃ仕方ないだろう。その点エメとセルクは完璧だ。エーテルが見えるだけじゃなく、それを自在に引き寄せて強大な魔法を使うことができる。あれほど偉大な魔導士を私は他に知らないよ。だから私は彼を推したんだけど、 彼を推薦する声は他にもたくさん届いていたんだ。それも世界中からね。なんでも以前彼に手を貸してもらった人たちが彼の実力は確かなものだって声を上げたらしい。当人は驚いたんじゃないかな。彼としては人助けをしてたつもりなんてこれっぽっちもなかったようだからね。私とエメトセルクにはもう一人仲のいい友人がいるんだ。それがまあなんというか面白い人でね。やらなくてもいいことにいちいち首を突っ込んであわや大惨事みたいなことが常で、エメトセルクは呆れてばかりだけど、まあ心配もしているわけさ。だから呼ばれればついていくし、必要だと判断すれば助っ人に駆けつける。結果として周りからはエメトセルク自身が人助けをしてるように思われたってわけだ。本当にとびきり愉快な友人たちさ。彼らの望みが叶うようにすること、それが私にできる最良の星への貢献だ。エメトセルクは14人委員会の座は名数に等しいと言うけれど、だったら私の名数は友人たちのそれに等しいのだろうと思うよ。いけないね、つい語っちゃった。どうにも君には親近感が湧いてしまうものだから。やっぱりその色、君の中にある色のせいかな。これほど似ているのに違うものだなんて、そんなことある？
すごい！カリュバです！上手！
うん、あれならもう大丈夫。飛ぶ練習は終わりで良さそうだ。近くまで行ってエメトセルクに手を振ってあげなよ。終了の合図代わりにさ。
If they all had the same abilities, Ktisis would have just as much magical power as Emmett Selk. But he doesn't. You see how that works. Ktisis would have had the same magical capabilities as Emmett Selk. There would be no most powerful mage, because everyone would be the most powerful mage. They all are aware of who's the most powerful mage, and they know how magic works, but they don't have the same output, power output, as Emmett Selk does. That being said, Emmett's eyes aren't as keenly attuned as Ktisis's. You're following what I'm getting at? So, them all having the echo, highly unlikely. But them all being aware of the echo, yeah, they probably have it in like small degrees. And I mean it in the way of like the Ktisis and Emmett with the eyes thing. There's a degree of which they have it. And it's not that big, it's not that strong. Meanwhile, Vanaz here with it mastered. Which is kind of funny because then, even with the memory deletion, she can go talk to other people. They'll still say stuff about Hermes having a bird, and they would go over here and talk a lot, and she would go there and do her little echo check, and bada boom, bada bing, she find out, oh, they didn't all die because they all were out there, not here. There's an inconsistency. But I digress once more. That all said and done, I'm going to leave y'all to it. like I said, these are just some inconsistencies I found with just that part. There's other stuff, like say in Shadowbringers, when you deal with the first Light Warden, you suck it in and you throw it out, and then every other Light Warden, you just suck it in and hold it because you want to vomit for some reason. But that's a different topic for a different day. So that said, I'll leave y'all to it. Later.
We're good.
I'm related. I did send Estinian to Urkel with one of the sound credit cards.
Okay, cool.
Hey, have seen this video?
Shizuka? Run that shit by me again! You! Sent Estinian to Urko Pacha.
To all of my children in whom life flows abundant.
A test of your reflexes!
With a credit card?